Hello everybody, Hidden Flame here, and I am starting a new series. I found this fighting fantasy bundle on Steam. So I am going to be going through the 5 games, and from what I can tell, it's more of like a create your own adventure, which I have been a fan of all my life. I don't know really anything about the rules. Okay. I don't know anything, but it's by Steve Jackson, those who did the Munchkin games. Oh, well, looks like I can do it. I have it on my phone. Okay. I'm actually just going to go through it here. Let's click to continue. Okay. House of Hell is a fighting fantasy game book on the interactive adventure in which you are the hero. You can only win through by choosing the correct path, finding equipment, avoiding traps, and surviving combat. House of Hell is a little different from the other fighting fantasy adventures. You start your adventure unarmed with no provisions or potions, and you have to avoid being frightened to death. Before starting House of Hell, you must choose between 3 different difficulty settings. The game book has been designed for optimal challenge on hardcore and medium difficulty modes. For newcomers to the fighting fantasy, we recommend medium or free read modes. I am not going to do hardcore mode, but it is the play House of Hell exactly how Steve Jackson designed it. Nothing has been changed from the printed version. Your starting skill is calculated by 1d6 plus 6 with a -3 modifier added at the beginning of the adventure due to unarmed. Your starting stamina is calculated by rolling 2d6 plus 12, and your luck is calculated by rolling 1d6 plus 6. You also have a maximum fear value that is calculated by rolling a 1d6 plus 6. There are unlimited bookmarks for you to, so which you are placing your fingers between the pages. How do I... You have chosen hardcore. No! Fine, whatever. We'll try it out. Before embarking on your adventure, you must first determine your own strengths and weaknesses. To see how brave, lucky, and resourceful you are, you must use the dice to determine your initial skill, stamina, and luck scores. Your skill score reflects your general fighting expertise. The higher, the better. Your starting skill is determined by rolling a single die and adding 6 to the number. Roll your starting skill. Yes, that's a 6. Okay, your roll is 6 plus 6 means your skill is 12. You begin House of Hell with no weapons, so you start off the adventure with a 3 deducted from your initial skill. Your stamina reflects the general constitution, your will to survive, your determination and courage. Your stamina, the higher your stamina score, the longer you will be able to survive. The starting stamina is determined by rolling 2 dice and adding 12. Let's roll stamina. Yes, 10. That's good. I hope. Okay, your luck indicates how lucky or how naturally lucky a person you are. Luck and evil are facts of life, your devilish domain you are about to explore. Or in the devilish domain you're about to explore. Your starting luck is determined by rolling 1d6 and adding 6 to that number. 3? I guess that's alright. As well as surviving your adventure by ensuring that your stamina never drops below 0, in House of Hell, you must also avoid being frightened to death. Roll a 1d6 and add 6 to determine your fear. I don't see it. 2. Crap. This will give you the maximum fear score you can bear. Your fear score is the number of points you can take before frightened to death. Good luck, you'll need it. Okay, here we go, guys. The rain splatters on the windshield relentlessly. You can see no more than a watery gloom as you strain forward over the steering wheel to see the road ahead. Although the wipers flap valiantly, they are fighting a losing battle. As the rain drives harder and harder, your foot eases off the accelerator. The headlights struggle to the light up the road. Damn, you curse the white-haired old man who sent you off along this bumpy track. Probably he meant the second turning on the left, or even the right turning. The old fool. Perhaps this is his idea of a joke. After all, you didn't notice a mischievous glint in his eye? Something vaguely sinister? But what sort of nonsense is this? You have taken a wrong turn and got caught in a downpour in the night. The rain will ease soon. It can't possibly keep up this deluge for long. And then you'll be able to... Watch out! You spin the wheel frantically to the left to avoid the figure who, from out of nowhere, shows up in the headlights. The car bumps and jolts and bounces over the rocky roadside and thumps into a ditch. You collect your thoughts. You are unhurt, but shaken. Then you remember what has happened. The body. You must have hit the figure that appeared. There was no way you could have avoided him. You spring out of your car, praying that he is alive. The hell? Oh, okay, this is how we do it. Your clothes soak up the rain as you hobble back into the road. The darkness is difficult to see, but there is no sign of a body. You consider the situation. You were certain it was someone and not a trick of the light. Yes, you can remember the arms held up in fright as the car collided, and the look of anguish on his face. His face. There was something familiar about that face. A man you recognize. An old man with white hair. Your heart leaps. No, impossible. With a shiver of fear, you race back to the car, jump inside, and force the key into the ignition and twist violently. The starter coughs, splutters, and dies. You hit the key again, but this is a single shutter, and the engine is all the engine can mutter. You grip the wheel with your hands and shake it desperately as if you force some life into the car. But the battery is dead. Your car is certainly not budging from the ditch tonight. Your situation is hopeless, but now the plight of your car is paramount. Where can you get help? You passed the garage in Manglefield, but that was some 20 miles away. As if in answer, a light appears in the distance. Someone has switched on a bedroom light. What a stroke of luck. It was at least 15 miles back that you passed the last house, and you happened to have broken down a short distance from someone's house. You button up your coat and open the door. From outside of the car, you see the building more clearly. Just ahead, on the left, a drive winds up into a large house. It's a good 5-minute walk away, and by the time you reach it, you will be drenched. How else can you call the garage? You can't afford to miss tomorrow's appointment. No, you must. Anyway, you'll probably be able to dry off inside phoning the garage. You slam the door, turn up your collar, and set off for the house. A flash of lightning lights up clearly for you, but in your preoccupation with the rain, the warning from above is wasted on you. The house is old, very old, and in shocking state of repair. The light in the window is flickering, most likely an oil lamp, certainly electric. And you don't notice the fact that it might have turned you back away. There is no telephone line going to the house. As you climb the steps to the front door, you Little do you realize what fate is in store. Tonight is going to be a night to remember. You climb the creaking steps up the front door and pause as you catch your breath. Even though you ran all the way up the drive from the car, you were soaked through. Your feet are particularly wet, judging by the number of puddles you stepped into in the dark. The drive needs a small fortune to spending on repairs. But under the porch, you are out of the storm. You brush the rain from your clothes before turning towards the door. The rain is still pelting down, but an eerie silence hangs in the air. No lights are on downstairs. The step back off the porch to check the upstairs window which attracted your attention earlier. Nothing. No lights. The whole place seems deserted. But then you remember the time. 5 minutes to midnight. Everyone in the house has probably gone to bed. An owl hoots in the distance and a shiver runs down your spine. Your situation is a little scary. Here you are in the middle of nowhere at some strange run-down house, about to wake up whoever lives inside at midnight. They certainly won't be too pleased, but you have no choice if you were going to make your appointment tomorrow. You must reach a telephone and call for help. You step up to the front door. From the left side of the house, a dull glow catches your attention. A light has been turned on. You breathe a sigh of relief, at least someone is awake. You consider your options. There is an elaborate knocker on the middle of the door with a bell pull hanging down to the right. Will you rap the door on the knocker? Turn to that page. Will you pull the cord? Or alternatively, you could creep around the house to investigate the light by... Okay. This is what I mean by the your choose your own adventure. I have 3 choices to make. And like most point and click adventures, I can go back or I can go front, but I'm going to do this in one play just to see how I do. If you guys want me to do more, I will do. So, why not? Let's knock on the door. A few minutes later, the door handle turns slowly and the door opens. Standing in the doorway is a tall man dressed in a suit with tails, his long face solemn. Yes? He asks indignantly. You smile nervously and explain your situation. Your car is broken down and you need to reach a telephone and you are soaked to the skin. The man's face remains expressionless. Come in, he orders. The master is expecting you. Follow me. He leads you to the reception hall and tells you to sit down while he informs his master of your arrival. You sit down in a solemn chair, looking around the reception hall. You sit down on a solid, curved chair and look around. The reception hall is currently not what you would have expected from the outside. It is elegantly decorated with rich tapestries and fine oak panels. A number of portraits line the wall. A sturdy 16th century table is set against one wall. Will you wait for your host to arrive, or will you study the paintings? Alternatively, you can hunt for a phone. I actually want to take a look at the paintings. 3 portraits are particularly interesting. Will you look at the beautiful young woman wearing a tiara? Will you look at the middle-aged, portly gentleman wearing half-moon glasses? Or alternatively, you can look at an elderly woman with a gray hair and cold expression. I'll look at the beautiful woman with the tiara. A princess, probably. Uh-oh. Collect... Ooh, shit. First shock. Oh, crap. It's probably 1 down. A plaque beneath the painting reads, Lady Margaret of Danvers, 1802 to 1834. You stand and admire her beauty and wonder why she died so young. As you were staring at her face, you suddenly blink and look again. Did you just see her lips moving? Surely not. A whisper reaches your ears, but you cannot make out its message. You lean forward and put your ear to the lips. A soft woman's voice is speaking to you. Stranger, beware of this place, for it is cursed. Many have succumbed to its power, myself included. The evil Lord Kelnor will already be plotting your death. Drink not his white wine, or if you can, be gone. Escape while you may. You step back aghast. What sort of place is this? A creepy, run-down old building filled with priceless antiques and paintings that which talk? A cold prickle runs down your neck. You gain 1 fear point. Will you now run for the door or wait to see what happens? I will wait. Footsteps are coming. The tall man you met earlier walks in, opening the door for another tall man dressed in a red smoking jacket. May I present Lord Kelnor, the Earl of Dunmar, the butler announces. The Earl holds out his hands and you shake it. His grip is strong, and his eyes pierce you. His lips widen to a soft smile. You begin to tell him of your predicament, and he holds up a hand. Please, I can see you have been caught in this filthy storm. Let us sit by the fire, and we will see whether we can help. Franklin's, I can tell the cook to prepare some food for a visitor. You protest, but you do not wish to be any trouble. But your host ignores you and leads you into a drawing room where the fire is burning. You take off your coat and sit down. The heat of the fire makes you feel comfortable once more. Flinkins returns with 2 glasses of burgundy. Will you relax, drink the brandy, and ask if you can use the telephone, or wait to see what happens? Wait to see what he asks you. Okay, I don't know what color brandy is. Or if it's a wine in general. Let's see what he wants to ask me. Your host is a little annoyed by your nervousness. Come, come, he says. There is no need to be afraid. Your little accident caused you to lose your nerve? Drink your brandy, so you'll forget your fears. As you watch him, your mind begins to play tricks on you. Is this expression genuine concern for your welfare, or is there a hint of something secretive in his eyes and smile? You shiver. Your fear of the situation is evident. You gain 1 fear. Damn it. A short while later, Franklin appears. Your meal is ready to be served, sir, he says to the Earl. You both rise and go into the dining room. The dining room looks magnificent. The long table stretches between 2 fine chairs and is laid with glimmering silver cutlery. A rich red wallpaper covers the walls, and the room is lit by a sparkling chandelier, bristling with candles, which hang from the ceiling. You take your seat as the butler moves behind you to offer you wine. Which wine would you like to drink? Would you like the white wine or the red? Red wine, please. The wine is impeccable, a fine vintage. A soup follows, and you choose between the 2 dishes of your main course. Would you like lamb? Would you prefer duck? Or you can tell the host you've already eaten. Ooh, I'm not a fan of duck, but I'm not going to anger this guy. So, lamb would be good. A rack of lamb is brought in on a silver platter. The smell is delicious. You both start to eat and talk. The Earl asks you about your job and the reason for being in such an out-of-the-way place in the middle of the night. In turn, he tells you about himself and his family. The Earl of Dunmar is the last survivor of his family. His estate stretches for miles around the house. At one time, the estate was prosperous, with many tenant farmers cultivating his land and providing a healthy income for his family. But things started to change. His sister died at the age of 32 under mysterious circumstances. She was found dead in a clearing in the woods with strange marks around her on her neck. News traveled fast, and the ignorant peasants started muttering about witchcraft and black magic. In their eyes, the house was cursed. Pure superstitious nonsense, of course, but gradually the farmers moved into new pastures, avoiding the estate. By now you have finished your meal. Franklin returns and offers you fruit, cheese, and brandy. Coffee and cheese, please. The butler brings you a plate of cheese and a steaming pot of coffee. He cuts your portion of cheese and pours the coffee cup into a china cup. The conversation continues. You finish off your meal. The Earl rises to his feet, saying, "Our conversation has been most enjoyable, but now you must be tired. Franklin, we'll show you to your room. Let us retire." You stand up. He's right. You are tired, and it's well past midnight. You stumble and reach out to steady yourself at the table. Whew, were you really that tired? Or have you had a little too much to drink? Your head is spinning, and the voice of the host becomes part of the background noise, which gets louder and louder in your ears. Eventually, you collapse on the ground and lose consciousness. You open your eyes. Your head is spinning, and it is some time before you're fully aware that the fact that your hands and feet are bound. The room you are in is empty. You work out a plan. You will hop over to the window, break the glass, and cut yourself free. Pulling yourself to your feet is awkward, but you manage it with a mixture of hops and shuffles and arrive to the window. Outside, the wind is blowing and the rain against the window panes. Will you go ahead and smash the windows with your hands, or something of a risky business, or will you test your luck? I will test my luck. Okay, you decide to test your luck. Roll and see if you're lucky. Boom! Yes, you are lucky. You manage to escape splintering glass without harm. You cut yourself free and manage your wrist, or massage your wrist to get the circulation moving. Then you walk over to the door and try it. It is not locked. You try the handle and open it a little, looking outside. Your room is on the first floor landing. Facing the door is a balustrade, and looking over the banisters, you can see the entrance hall below. To your left, there are two doors on the corner of the landing which run along to the right. If you wish to go that way, or looking to your right, the landing runs past another door, then turns to the left. Let's go to that one. A short distance further along the balcony, you arrive at the door with Azil written on the name. Ooh. From what I remember of Quest for Glory, Azil is bad. Azil is very bad. So I would prefer to continue. I'm not going to that door. If you follow the landing, around to another door on the right-hand side. The nameplate identifies it as Erasmus' room. It's a wizard. Erasmus was... I'm just going with what I know of the names. Erasmus could be a wizard room. Let's check it out. You grasp the handle and turn it. The door is locked. It looks too sturdy for you to break down. Will you turn towards the door at the end of the corridor, or will you go back the way you came, carrying past the room which you originally appeared? Let's keep going. At the end of the corridor ahead of you, ahead of you is a stout wooden door. While you were considering whether or not to try this room, a noise behind you startles you. You spin around and only find that the wind is rustling wall hangings. There is nothing to be afraid of. You turn back and are amazed to find a faint white figure has appeared in front of you. The apparition of a young woman in her early 20s, with long flowing hair. She is dressed in a white bridal dress which has seen better days. It is ripped and torn. You gain 1 fear. "Oh, thank God you've come in time," she says. "I must talk to you immediately. Come, let us go into this room." Why not? You enter the room. She passes right through the door. You, of course, must do the traditional methods. You turn the handle and walk into the Apollyon room. It is an elegant bedroom. Fine floor-length curtains along the one wall. An enormous bed with lace coverings is against another wall. And the opposite stands a beautiful dressing table with a huge mirror. The woman hovers in the center of the room and bids you to sit down on the bed. "Your coming here has been no accident," she says, "and I must warn you of the terrible dangers you will face here. This house is ruled by the Master, a powerful black priest of the night named Kelnor, Earl of Drummer. I would guess that you are to be offered to the demons of hellfire, if you survive that long. Yesterday they trapped a girl, a pretty young district nurse, who happened to call. She is to be offered tonight. I cannot let this devilry continue. There must be some way it can be stopped. If you find the Chris knife, you might be able to defeat Kelnor, for this weapon is his only weakness. Please help me. You will probably find it in... No, quick, we are discovered. I hear the hounds. Go, leave this room." You stand up. She was right. You could hear barking rapidly and getting rapidly closer. She motions to you, pointing at the door. You run through the door, peer outside. Nothing. The barking gets louder. You turn back towards the ghost, who seems to be struggling with something. Is she involved in a fight with two huge ghostly Great Danes, which are snapping and clawing at her? You step forward, but it is hopeless. You cannot touch the beasts. And your help would have been very welcome, but the dogs are too much powerful for her. She is weakened, and as she does so, her image fades. Moments later, she disappears completely. Satisfied the job is done, the two Great Danes disappear also. You are alone. What will you do now? You would rather... I'm going to try and help. You consider your best plan as you walk down the passageway. You turn right along the landing and two doors to your left. The first Aziel is written on the nameplate. The second is Mephisto. Okay, let's check this Aziel. The door opens and you peer in the room. You quickly check there is no one inside, and you are relieved to find it empty, but full of clutter. It seems to be a crude scientific laboratory of some sort. A brass telescope points through the window towards the sky. Charts and mathematical tables are pinned to the walls. A human skeleton hangs from a hook, and the bench is covered in glass vials and apparatuses. They look like priceless antiques, and they are probably made in the last century. Let us investigate. You step into the room and close the door behind you. A squeaking noise from one corner gives you a jump, but when you walk over, you find that the squeaking comes from 3 rats in a cage. Your eyes peer at the sound of visitors as you investigate the contents of the room. Okay, do you wish to continue look through the drawers? You might want to examine the liquids, or you could look through the cupboards. Cupboards are good. You step over to the cupboards and try the doors. They are not locked. You grasp the handles and open the cupboard doors wide. Just as quickly, you slam them shut. Shaking nervously, you step away, holding your hands up to your gaping mouth. From the sight gave you a terrible shock. You gain 2 fear points. Hanging from hooks in the cupboards are 2 corpses which have evidently been used for experiments of some kind. The blood has not yet dried on these corpses. They are still warm. You lean back against the bench to compose yourself. You take a deep breath and look down at your feet as your head spins. Lying on the floor is a folded piece of torn canvas. You pick it up and find it beautifully painted, but seemingly part of a bigger painting. Your ears pick up the sound of footsteps coming closer. You nip into the shadows and wait for the footsteps outside. Bleh. You nip into the shadows and wait. The footsteps outside of the door, you can hear two voices talking. Haven't we better ask the master's permission? One asks. Maybe you're right, but we'd be better at getting light for our lamps. You breathe a sigh of relief as the footsteps disappear off in the direction from which you approached the room. You decide it is best to leave before they return, and you open the door to the landing. You find the safest way to go, and it strikes you, is away from the two visitors who may return at any moment. You approach the room from the left, turn. It's the only... Okay, we gotta go to the right. There is another door a couple of meters ahead, up the landing to the left. This is the door to the Mephisto room. The door with the handle opens a little, but is caught on something and will not open any further. Okay, you walk to the door and find in the corner of the balcony, the one on your left is named Balthus, and the other on the front of you has no name. The room you have entered is bare. Pinstriped wallpaper covers the wall. A hearth is set up in the center of the room, and on one mantelpiece there is a small wooden box. Curtains are pulled together along another wall, and they are hung awkwardly, bulging at unnatural places. Bulging, sorry. Investigate the curtains or the mantelpiece. Mantelpiece! You walk up to the mantelpiece and pick up the box. A catch is holding it shut. Yet before you can open the box, a rustling from the window attracts your attention. Something is happening. You place the box back on the mantelpiece and walk over to the curtains. From behind the curtain, a heavy blow hits you in the chest and knocks you backwards on the floor. You lose 2 stamina. Do you have enough stamina left? Oh, okay. It's a bookmark. Okay. I guess I do. You pick yourself up quickly, and the curtain slides to one side. A human figure steps out. The skin is dirty and green colored. Its wide eyes stare at you, yet through you. Its jaw gasps open to reveal a mouth full of rotten teeth. It wears rugged clothes, and it is advancing towards you. You gain 2 fear. You must fight. If you defeat the zombie... Okay. You must fight. Whack! You hit the zombie. Test your luck. 8. You do more damage. Ha ha ha. Excellent. You were triumphant. Now you must leave this room. I want to investigate the damn box. The box rattles when you touch it. There is something solid inside. You undo the catch and open the lid. Inside you find a small key. You try the key to the door and it fits. The key turns and unlocks the door, allowing you to leave the room. You find that you are in the corner of the landing and there is an unmarked door to your left. Why not? The door opens into a small passageway which ends at a window. There is a door halfway along the left side, and the sign identifies it as the Diablo's Room. Oh, one of these doors are going to kill me, I just know it. You step into the room and close the door behind you. The room is empty, and you heave a sigh of relief, falling back against the door to catch your breath. Let us rest. You sit on the bed trying to work out how on earth you can escape this place. The room you are now in seems safe enough to rest, and the rest increases your stamina by 2 points. Woohoo! But a few minutes later, the wind rushes through the curtains and attracts your attention. You glance towards the window. A soft voice calls your name. You leap back against the wall while in the strange shape is forming. A human is passing through the very wall itself and entering the room. At least the figure is almost human, but its head is missing. And as it materializes before you, the voice becomes clearer. It comes from a head that is carried, and not on the apparition's shoulders, but as it in a hand which hangs down at its side. The sight is horrible, and ghastly blood drips to the carpet from the severed head. You gain 2 fear points. The horrible scene is too much for you, and you have reached your maximum fear score. You die of fright. Okay, guys. I guess I died. So there are 4 more games on this pack, and I'm going to be going through all 4 games. So keep a lookout, and we will see when I do the next one. So I hope you guys will enjoy this series, as I will be doing all 5. So you guys enjoy, have a great night, and I'll see you next time.